This episode I want to talk about how we are an individual society. Um, there's a time that relationships were very important to us. Um, let's start with this first question: how important do you think relationships are in your growth in this business and you moving up in Hollywood? How important do you think relationships are?
Dude, you've told me this time and time again, and you're the best at saying it. We're in the people business. People, people, people.
Yeah.
And I'm calling you when I say this, but it's very important because, and you also said this as well, shout out to Chad Chambers, the only way you're going to be successful in Hollywood is if everyone else wants you to be successful.
Yeah.
If everyone else wants you to fail, you're going to fail.
Yeah.
So relationships, business, like it's very, very important.
Yeah, and appreciate that. I pay the credit where credit's due, especially with that was my manager who first said that to me. He said that they have to want to see you win, and that's the name of the game. They have to want to see you win. When I first met my manager, his name is Glenn Hughes. One of the most valuable teammates anyone could ever have, or I could ever have. He put it to me. I came off. With my first team, we hit it off immediately. But with him, the first time we met, we hit it off immediately as well. But the second time, I must have had a chip on my shoulder, right? About, what I wanted to do in this industry and things like that. And during that meeting, he spoke to my agents afterwards. He said, guys, there's some things he needs to work on because in this industry, I know that when you guys met him, you wanted him to win. When I met him, I didn't have that same desire. And so that tells me that casting is going to be hit or miss as well.
Yeah.
And that means that production is going to be hit or miss as well. That means the consumers who turn on their TV are going to be hit or miss as well. And so it starts with us. And that was something that I fought against when I first heard it. As most people when they first hear criticism, they get real defensive. And so when I first heard it, I'm like, what? And they're like, yeah, I mean, we loved you. I don't know what interaction he had with you or whatever. And, at the time, I was talking about the things I was proud of. I was somewhat resume listing the things that I've done back at home in Missouri and things I did prior to coming here. Like I shot this independent film, I shot this. I was talking about things like that, and that turned them off completely.
Why do you I don't mean to go off topic. Why do you think that turned them off?
Because I was new out here, and me speaking about the credits act like they were big credits when they weren't, right? To me, they seem like big credits because they're big for me.
Because you're from Missouri, yeah.
So doing these two the independent features, doing this independent short, to me that's huge. But to him, Hollywood doesn't know the name of that stuff, so if it's not a credit on TV or credit in a movie with a notable actor, it's
not credit to them.
It's not credit to them. And so me trying to harp on that more than telling them who I am. That's why I tell people, don't list your resume, tell your story. This is exactly where it comes from. Because you listing your resume doesn't make anyone connected to you. Your resume speaks for itself. It's on paper, it tells exactly what you've done. They're trying to figure out who you are and do they want to invest in you. Put it this way, if I'm hiring someone for a job that's going to pay them $1 million, and it's going to be to start up their business needs to thrive for the rest of time, how much do you have to like that person to give that person that leg up?
A lot. Yeah.
A lot.
I think a lot doesn't even signify it.
It's not a casual transaction. I'm not giving you a job at the gas station next to me, right?
Yeah.
I'm not asking you to. I'm not getting you a job with me at my day job.
At Ralph's.
I always use Ralph's, Chipotle, but shout out to you guys because everybody's needed.
Yeah.
And I mean that from the bottom of my heart, but you're not getting you a casual job that pays you hourly. This job can make you a millionaire, and you will never leave after this job once you have your own audience and base. And so, how much do I have to like you to give you that leg up? Skill plays a part in it as well. We need competence. We don't want you to drop a segment of our project. But if you're competent and the person next to you is competent, I'm choosing the one that I like more.
Mm-hmm.
And Glenn really put me onto that first. G Hughes put me onto that first, man. And for my team that's been with me all these years, I could never repay them, but they've taught me a lot about myself, and they taught me a lot, and I'm still learning a lot. So just to get that people credit off to G Hughes. Any other thoughts about relationships? What about personal relationships? You think that's telling someone's personal relationship? You think that's telling what kind of person you're dealing with?
Yes.
Okay.
I've listened to this one business owner who says that he doesn't care how good someone is at business. If their personal life's a wreck, if they're, cheating on their wife or cheating on their significant other,
Yeah.
if they're not there for their kids, or if they're not present in their family's lives, then he won't work with them.
Wow.
He doesn't care, because, we do business with people who we know, like, and trust. If you're good at business, but you're not good in your personal life, then there's something wrong there. This is coming from his perspective, right?
Yeah.
And I respected that. And believe it or not, a lot of business people feel the same way, who I've listened to.
A lot. I know a lot of business guys only do business with people who are married.
I was just thinking of that in my head too. They only do it. That's another one.
My brother's been promoted like 4 times or he's been promoted twice since he's been married.
Why do you think that is? Because of the relatability thing, or?
And I had a similar experience during a long relationship as well, and I was getting pushed up the ladder, but it's because it signals honesty, it signals commitment, and they know that in their eyes, I think that whether it's true or not, I think that single men are flaky and they'll go any direction they so choose whenever they want.
They have less to lose.
They have less to lose.
Okay.
But in their eyes, it's kind of like I guess being married on paper shows a level of commitment. Even your insurance, my insurance went down for all insurance.
It does.
My car insurance went down significantly. All of it went down because they know what type of person. They assume what type of person they're dealing with based off of the data in the past, right? And with single men, they know single men do more peacocking, maybe try to drive faster, maybe try to get attention. Where married men believe in the slow build of wealth, and that's another reason why a lot of married men are millionaires, because they believe in someone said it best, but I can't remember, but. They're big in the slow build of wealth, in short.
For sure, which makes total sense.
Where a lot of single men will gamble it all, lose it, and may never have that one that takes off, and then they're at square one. Where the other one believes in incremental victories, and they just build on that and build on that and build that. Today I bench press 5 pounds. Tomorrow I bench press 10. The next day I bench press 20, and now I'm on 240. Now I'm on 280. They believe in increments where as a single man may try to bench press or deadlift 400 off the jump, and so it's really interesting how the data and psychology perceives people's personal relationships and how they transcend into business.
Yeah, but no, dude, that was insightful information. Thank you for sharing that. And also, so like I said, I know business people who won't do business. Like you said, business people who won't do people unless they're married, who won't do business with others unless they're married. So yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, and so the big topic we're having here is what do relationships play in business?
Yes.
And I guess it just shows a lot of loyalty. What about that?
I was about to say, when Bill Gates started his company, when Steve Jobs started their company, when Jeff Bezos all started their company, they didn't do it by themselves. They did it with us. I don't know too much about Bill Gates' story. I don't know too much about Jeff Bezos, but I did read Steve Jobs' book.
Yeah.
And the way that Apple was built, when he said it was literally built in a garage, it was him, it was Wozniak, it was a couple other guys who all literally built Apple and everything from their garage. And they were like 17, 18 years old. And ever since then, it just, slow build after slow build. But without those relationships, there's no way that Steve Jobs is building Apple.
Let me tell you, man, the Bill Gates story is the same. Let me tell you that majority of the tech giants today story is the exact same. We have a friend who made video games. He helped with games like Counter-Strike, and he's a multimillionaire today. And he lives in St. Louis, and same thing. He's just playing around in his basement, and him and his friends would continue building and building and building. And so after I read, and they talk about this as well, and Outliers, Malcolm Gladwell's getting the best shout out he's ever gotten in a series of podcasts. But I talk about that in Outliers as well, that same thing, that building the basement relationship. When after I read that book, that was part of the reason I decided to do the podcast now, when I knew that you're gonna stay here and we're gonna get work done, I was looking at all the examples he had. He says a moment in time that they capitalized on, and they cranked out so much that their lives were changed forever. Yep. And so I was just like, okay, we have this move and this play happening. We're pretty much living in our studio. Optimize that, capitalize on that, and then see what your life's like in a year's time. And that's how that works. Same with your team for your last film. You guys got together. Mm-hmm. You guys got into the same room somehow, some way. And it's just like optimize on that, capitalize on that. And that's what you do. And so yeah, those stories of Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, Mark Zuckerberg,
Jeff Bezos,
it all started.
Elon Musk too.
I believe that.
Him and his when they created PayPal,
mm-hmm.
they literally were renting an office studio.
Yeah.
But they lived there as well. And they would take turns switching back and forth in between coding on the computer, making, I don't know if it was PayPal at the time, but they were making something back then.
That's right. Elon Musk did come from PayPal, didn't he?
Yeah.
PayPal cranked out some people, man.
Yeah.
PayPal specifically, because PayPal cranked out the guys who made YouTube as well.
Really? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, the two guys who made YouTube came from PayPal as well. Yeah. PayPal cranked out some like heavy hitters in the tech industry, which I use PayPal, but I just never thought of it to like create so many, like, as YouTube's a huge platform, and obviously Tesla is a massive platform.
Yeah.
A massive retailer and auto and vehicles. So it's crazy, man. But finish your thought. I feel like I interrupted you there.
Oh no, you're good. You're good.
But yeah, relationships matter. Relationships are telling. As you guys, a lot of these people in the audience may be in long-term relationships. You know what it's done to your job. I know what it did to my job. People perceive you differently.
Yeah.
They perceive you as reliable. And then as far as the actual things that are not just perception but reality, no man's an island. And whether you're Bezos or Steve Jobs, you started out as a team. You started out in your garage. Robert Kiyosaki said he wouldn't be here without his wife. Mm-hmm. And so the advice I give to anybody who's watching is the same advice I was given. There's a point when I got out here when my team asked for a certain percentage. An agent can only ask for 10%, a manager can only ask for 15%, no more than that by law. But when they asked for that, or asked for something near that, I talked to my brother about it. He said, it was simple. Are you gonna make more than 15% of the money you would have made being signed, or not? So if you can do it independently and make way more than that, then go for it. But if you're not making 25% more by yourself, then sign.
Yeah.
And that's how people need to look at business going forward. 100% of zero is still zero. It's Black Hollywood.
Yeah.